For today's watch review, we're going to be talking about a watch that I've had in my collection for quite a while. This is the Garmin Fenix 3. So let's get right into it. Starting off with price, as of the filming of this video, you can reasonably find this online for around $200 to $300. For dimensions across the case, we're looking at a case diameter of about 52.5, and then for case thickness, we're looking at just under 16 millimeters. For weight, we're looking at a total of 94 grams or 3¼ ounces. Now keep in mind, this NATO strap does not come with the Fenix 3. It originally comes with just a regular, I want to say silicone or rubber band. So, you know, weight might fluctuate just slightly. But as for me, with the NATO band, that's the way we're looking at. Here is the wrist shot. As you can see, it's going to be a little bit on the larger size. But for me, that's great. You know, if you're like me and you've got a larger wrist, that's going to be just a wonderful thing. And I think for most people, this case design is very comfortable. The circular shape is just ergonomic and practical for all shapes and sizes. So this thing is jam-packed with features. First and foremost, it is a GPS watch used to track activities. So if you look here, you've got this red highlighted button, and that's how you access all of the GPS functions. So you hit that button and it takes you to this menu, and you've got an up and down button right here, and you just scroll through whichever activity that you're gonna do. Admittedly, I have not used any of these except for, I haven't even used walk. I've only ever used it on run because that is the only thing that I would use it for. I don't really understand why there's bike indoor. Like, what are you... I honestly cannot for the life of me understand why you would use this to track bike indoor for the GPS function. If you know, let me know in the comments, but it's an option and you can select it. But yeah, you can just see all the different types of activities there are, and I pretty much think that it covers everything. And then going over some more modes, if you hit the up or down button, you can scroll through. So here we've got compass, and you know, it turns as you turn, and it's just a very cool feature. Very good interface, and I like the way that they display it. And then you've got your altimeter, barometer, temperature, and then your activity tracker, and then back to main time. Aside from the superficial features, if you go a little bit deeper into the watch, you've got different settings. So from here, you can change what apps you've got on, the style of watch face. So do you want to have a regular analog type display, a standard display, a negative display, all that good stuff. Just a bunch of stuff that you can really customize to your liking. And then you've got different training, you've got your alarm clock, timer, stopwatch, alerts, all that good stuff. Just really a countless amount of ways for you to really personalize this and make it yours. You can even program this button right here to be a shortcut to whatever you want. So for me, I have it as a shortcut to my stopwatch, just because to me that's the most useful tool on a watch outside of just telling time. But yeah, so get back to the main screen here. I would consider the Fenix series of watches to be smart watches. However, these are not delicate at all like any smartwatch. Overall build construction is fantastic. It doesn't feel delicate by any means. And one thing that makes this so great is not only does it have a bunch of features and it's very versatile, but the water resistance, it's rated up to 100 meters. I don't recommend diving with this watch, but in my personal experience, I can wash my hands, take a shower with it, go swimming in the pool with it. You know, I've been in the pool countless times with my Fenix 3, with this one specifically, and it has handled just fine. With that being said, all of the physical activities that I've done with this watch, the one thing that could not take it was the bracelet or the band that it came with, which was just a standard rubber strap, nothing special. It was good quality, but it lasted for about, I want to say, just over a year until it experienced the dreaded dry rot and fell apart into 3 separate pieces. I'm not going to fault the company for that, or even the band, because that's expected. If you're going to submit your watch bands to chlorine, to soap, getting wet, getting dry constantly, and you don't really take care of it, a year is really what you should expect for the lifespan of a watch like that, or of a band like that. Illumination is also a very good thing. I don't know if you can see it right now. No, but you can see on the screen that the illumination is great. Another good thing is that it will stay on as you are pushing buttons, as you are using different features. One of my biggest pet peeves is that for some reason watch companies don't have that function. If you hit the backlight, and really I'm complaining about Casio, but you hit the backlight, the light turns on and turns off the second you hit a button. And to me, that completely ruins the purpose of the backlight, because basically you can only use it one thing at a time. So you turn on the light, look at the time. Turn on the light, use the stopwatch. It doesn't stay on, and the fact that this watch does that, I think, is very intuitive and just smart overall programming. Negative display is great. Visibility is fine for me. If you don't prefer this type of display, like I said before, you can just go to your settings, watch face, background color, and then cycle through. And so that's what it looks like with the standard display. I personally prefer this, and that's just for aesthetic purposes only. I admit that this is probably more functional, but I just like the negative display. And if you look at the 12 o'clock position, you can see that battery life indicator. And I'm sure it applies to all other Fenix models, but the battery life is fantastic. I charged this watch 7 days ago, so 1 week ago, and we are still above 50%. And in my experience, I don't have to charge this watch more than once every 2 weeks. And the watch isn't even dying at that point. After 2 weeks, it's probably at 15 to 20%. And so I attach it to the charger, and it takes about 20 to 30 minutes to get it to 100% charge, and I'm good for another 2 weeks. So the ratio of how long it lasts to how long it takes to charge is superb. Obviously, if you're using functions like GPS, or you're running a lot, it's going to drain the battery quicker. I think if you're actively navigating, the battery is rated for 16 hours. And then 40 hours if you're using like coordination, or coordinates or positioning data. But just as a regular watch, you're looking at 2 weeks at a time. So for me, I use the GPS function every day, but I'm only using it for 15 to 20 minutes at a time. And so that gives me a week and a half to 2 weeks of battery life, which I still think is outstanding. So to wrap things up, my final opinion is that the Fenix 3 is just a tank of a watch. It really is a jack of all trades. You've got this fantastic battery life, awesome functionality and practicality. It can survive the apocalypse, obviously as long as you've got a power outlet to charge it. But as far as like overall robustness and toughness, it can really take it. I will let you know that I bought this watch in 2015. So this is a 5-year-old watch, and I have not been very good to it. I've taken it on many deployments, or out to sea. Let's see, what else? Oh, and after I graduated from my honeymoon phase, I let it die in a drawer for months at a time. So this thing would be at a completely dead battery, 6, 7, 8 months at a time. And every single time I hook it back up to a charger, charge right back up, and it functions just as good as the day that I bought it. Maybe I'm lucky, maybe not everyone has the same experience as I have had with the Fenix 3, but this thing is superb. So if you're in the market for a GPS/smart watch, I highly recommend the Fenix 3. It is an older model, but still perfectly functional and practical in today's market, and you know, definitely much cheaper. At the time, I spent around $500 to $600, but now it's going for much less than that. You know, even more than 50% less than that. So you can definitely find some good deals out there. And even if you buy it used, you know, if somebody bought this watch from me, it would still be perfectly functional and perfectly tough. So that's all I gotta say for now. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that this helps you with your next watch purchase. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.